70 acres of Dublin's Phoenix Park. Over 1 million visitors a year. 600 exotic animals. 22 dedicated keepers. Welcome to the zoo. Coming up, Brendan comes face to face with wild orangutans in Borneo, Joey the penguin rejoins the colony, and a new beginning for Kathy the orphaned gorilla. It's early morning in Dublin Zoo and the start of a very special day for Garth and Louise. In a bid to help them survive a difficult breeding season, the keepers took Joey the Humboldt penguin and his brother Noah from their nest in the penguin habitat 3.5 months ago. Since then, they were monitored, fed and taken care of in the veterinary clinic, with the ultimate aim of eventually reintegrating the 2 little chicks with the rest of the colony back at the penguin habitat. Unfortunately, while little Joey went from strength to strength, Noah, the smaller of the 2 chicks, struggled with a respiratory illness and despite the best efforts of the keepers, passed away. Since then, the keepers have been doing everything they can to get Joey ready for his big reintroduction. After months of hand-wearing and constant care from the 2 keepers, Joey's big day has finally arrived.
Yeah, today is the day. We're getting little Joey out to his new habitat. He's going to meet his new friends, and we're all very excited, as is he. So yeah, thumbs held and fingers crossed and toes crossed, everything that we can cross, we're crossing, that everything's going to go well with him. Yeah, we'll see. We'll obviously keep an eye on him for all of today while we're here on duty. If there are any issues, you know, we will take him back to his original little home, but we're sure he's going to settle in fine. Hi there, Joey. Welcome to your new home. Wow, look at that. Right, we're here now in his new habitat. We're going to open the door now. We've put one of these old upturned sky kennel halves just on its back to serve as a little hide. This is something that Joey was used to in isolation, so hopefully it's something familiar that he remembers. It's also something that our existing group is going to be unsure of, so hopefully they'll stay away, because there can be a lot of aggressive interaction between new birds when you're introducing new birds. So that's what we're going to be watching for today. We're just hoping for the best. We're going to let him ease himself into the whole thing. We're not going to put any pressure on him. Whatever's comfortable for Joey is what we want at the moment. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and see what happens.
Here we go.
Here we go.
There we go, and into his little house.
Hey, Joey.
Here's a...
How are you doing? You're a very brave penguin. This is the first step. He's out of his sky kennel now. It's all very exciting for him and for us. Hey, a big lad. We'll have to be mindful as well of the active nest that we do have. We've got 5 pairs of penguins at the moment that are nesting, and they're going to be defending their nests rather aggressively. So if Joey has to stray too close to them, he's going to get a peck or a slap. There is always that thing where you want to mollycoddle them and you want to pamper them and so on, but you know, you've got to realize that for a large part you've got to just let them get on with it, you know. He's going to learn very quickly where he can go and where he can't go at this stage. You're a very brave penguin, Joey.
For the past 6 days, zookeeper Brendan has been travelling through the rainforests, rivers and swamps of Borneo in search of wild orangutans. He's finally made it to Camp Leakey in central Borneo, a base for scientists, students and the park rangers who care for these critically endangered apes in one of their last remaining natural habitats.
This is Siskri. She's 34 years old. She's pretty much the only orangutan that stays here permanently now. She's reared 2 offspring. Most orangutans have gone back to the forest where they belong, of course. Whereas Siskri here, they call her lazy. She's had 2 babies, as I say. Both of them are actually back in the forest. but she prefers life here. She still has the option to go to the forest. It's only 4 metres from here. We are in the middle of the forest, but she rather to take it easy with the macaques and with the rangers around here. So well, at least she's the option. But the vast majority, I'm glad to say, do go back to the forest. The rangers tell me that she enjoys the comfort of the males, big male orangutans, when there's a storm on, where she's a bit fearful. However, she no longer mates with them, which upsets some of the males, but she says no more mating. So she's enjoying the good life. So they fart. Farting happens a lot in a lot of animals, but in most animals it's quiet. It's so loud in apes, like ourselves, and as she's just demonstrated in orangutans as well, because we have a sphincter muscle in our anus, and it's very, very tight because we're quite tall. So when that opens, really big explosion of air. So that's why you can hear farting very loud in us humans and orangutans, and also in chimps and gorillas.
Back in Dublin Zoo, Kieran and his team have gathered at the gorilla rainforest. Kathy, a 3-year-old hand-reared Western lowland gorilla, came to Dublin as an orphan looking for a new home. After a long and patient introduction process, the young gorilla finally came face to face with the rest of the troop in their indoor habitat. There were a few anxious moments, but Kathy behaved exactly as they had hoped, and the introduction was a success. Today, Kathy will venture out into the gorilla rainforest with her adopted family for what they hope will be a new beginning.
Yeah, massive day here today. It's something that we've been planning for the last number of weeks. We've worked with her inside with the troop, and this is our first time to put her out. You know, she's got keepers here with her as well, but it's a huge moment in her development and her learning curve as a very young gorilla. So she's got to get comfortable with everything that we have out here with her. Once we're happy that, you know, she's explored the whole environment out here, and she is quite calm, which is what we're looking for, we will introduce the main troop to her. We don't envisage, you know, that there will be any problems, because she has spent the last number of months building up what bond she's built up with the troop, and especially with Katuba and Canberry, the 2 youngsters. I mean, they do play all the time. Lena is very tolerant of that. So you would hope that the youngsters will come out, be interested that she's actually out here at this stage. Lena will be there as well, and I mean, Harry is quite relaxed at present, so Harry will probably move to where his area is and just monitor her. It's the moment that the team have worked for. You know, they've worked very, very hard over the last number of months to introduce Kathy to the troop, to get her to a stage where we can now move to this stage into the main habitat. So, you know, that's a big credit to the team that have worked with them over the last number of months.
It's just going to be great now bringing her out here with the rest of the group, and to see that she's fully integrated and has settled in really well, because she's had a tough little life now for her first few years, and hopefully now she'll settle in well here and be a good addition to the family group.
At the penguin habitat, Joey is beginning to find his feet and explore his new surroundings. So far, so good. But the question is, how will he get on with the rest of the colony once the keepers leave him on his own?
Very proud to see little Joey taking his first steps in his new habitat. So far, the intro's gone really well. He's had an encounter here and there with the odd penguin. He's had an encounter with Shay, who is also a hand-raised penguin. He's got his first peck from another penguin as well, so pleasantries are over with, and just from here it's monitoring, making sure that he integrates well with the rest of the group and starts behaving like a penguin and feeds well.
He's taken to the habitat really well. He's exploring the area. It'll only be a matter of time before he goes for his first swim. He knows where his little safe house is as well, and I'll be here checking as much as I can that he's okay.
Louise has really put such a lot of effort into Joey. You know, I'm not going to let her down now. I'm going to make sure that he continues to thrive. I'm sure Louise, we're going to have to pry her off the railing with a crowbar, because she's going to be down here every day, seeing that we're doing our job looking after Joey.
No pressure.
No pressure, yeah.
over in Borneo, Brendan has arrived at a supplementary feeding station for wild orangutans near Camp Leakey.
So the food is placed on platforms at 2 o'clock each day, and then basically it's up to the orangutans to come and feed if they want. It's not necessarily a bad thing if orangutans don't come up, because it means they've got enough food in the forest, which of course is great news. But if they do come along, it gives visitors a chance to see them up close. So we'll keep an eye on the forest and see what happens. So, as you can see, there's lots and lots of mothers with their youngsters around here. Some are a bit older, but most seem to be between 1 and 2 years old. So it is a great process that the orangutans are very much coming back to this area now. And they have safety, mostly thanks to the Orangutan Foundation, but also thanks to obviously ecotourism. So, really beautiful afternoon. And yeah, delighted. This is Doyo. He's 26 years old. There's 5 other males in this area. He's the dominant male in this area, so he gets effectively the rights of the females. It's believed he's impregnated about 10 different females. And the good news is that he was once an orphan animal. He was raised in the rescue centre and was brought here and is now basically a wild orangutan. He occasionally takes advantage of these supplementary feeds. Bananas, sugar cane, other foods. So it's a great success story and a good hope for the future for orangutans.
Come on, Joey. Joey, come on. Don't be bold. Come here, boy.
It's feeding time at the east section, and Garth and Louise have arrived at the Humboldt penguin habitat to see how young Joey is fitting in with the rest of the colony.
It's been a few weeks now since we've brought Joey down. Now, he has struggled a little bit to get settled in. It's a new environment. There's new birds here that he's never seen before. He's handled it very well, though, and he's healthy, thriving. You can actually see he's a very portly little baby penguin, so he's doing fantastically, and as you can see, wolfing down the sprat to beat the band. Not showing much sign of stress at all, so we're really, really chuffed with the progress to date. He's just taken to swimming recently in the main pool here. It was a little bit of an obstacle for him to overcome getting in, but he's venturing further and further out into the pool. He's starting to mess around with fish that we throw into the pool, so he's grabbing at them, picking them up, even swallowing them. So yeah, we're very happy that he's swimming and functioning properly.
Yeah, he's diving under the water, which is great, and picking up food under the water. So yeah, he's advancing very quick for just 6 months old.
I would say he's got a very good future here at Dublin Zoo. Even though he is hand-raised, a lot of people say that hand-raised animals integrate with a lot of difficulty into this sort of environment, but he's adapting very well. We've actually got other hand-raised birds here at the zoo that have adapted just fine, and they actually breed and behave very well. So I think the future is very, very bright for Joey, and hopefully he'll live out his days with us. He can live for up to 30 years in human care, so he's got a long innings with us.
Joey, we're going now. Bye-bye, Joey.
Bye-bye, Joey.
12,000 kilometres away in Borneo, Brendan is in the rainforest on his way back to base camp before nightfall, when he comes across a huge group of orangutans.
Okay, so just cannot believe our luck after seeing 6 orangutans. and we're just leaving the forest now to leave them to their sleep. They're still just walking around us. So a big male there and quite a few youngsters. Orangutans don't jump like most of the primates would. They pull the tree, make it move over, then they grab the other tree, pull it towards them, and then they can move across, bridging the gap. So they move differently to most of the primates, where monkeys, even chimpanzees can jump. Orangutans at that size, it's not really going to be possible. So you just rock the tree, move across, pull it towards them, and get across. It's great that this area is so important for them. Obviously protected here. Their numbers have absolutely plummeted. There would have been possibly 500,000 orangutans many years ago in Borneo, and now there's certainly less than 15,000. So this area may seem very populated, but unfortunately the story is not true in the rest of Borneo, in many other parts of Borneo. The forest here is fantastic, obviously quite warm. Some interesting smells, some very beautiful smells, and saw leeches, hornbills. It's yeah, amazing place. So it's the final day of our Borneo trip. We're heading back to the airport now. So we've had an amazing trip, very humbling, absolutely awe-inspiring to see orangutans. It's been really amazing, and I'm hoping what I've learned on this trip now can bring back to Dublin Zoo, and hopefully in future where we're designing forest themes, exhibits, and even just an example of how the orangutans move. I've learned a lot about that, so I'm hoping in the future I can apply what I've learned here, and certainly you know, it's been a great way to gain knowledge about animals in general. So I'm so very sad to leave Borneo. It's been brilliant, but it's nice to know that in this scene now we've helped make a bit of difference.
Back in Dublin, the keepers have already started to gather for a glimpse of Kathy and the rest of the troop's first steps together in the gorilla rainforest.
Come on, Kathy! Come on, Kathy, good girl!
Out the door before anyone else is the little orphan, followed soon after by the rest of her adopted family. It's a moment of great pride for Jerry, Kieran and all the keepers involved.
Kathy's just come out, and she's been out there first, and then she turned around to see the group following out, and you could actually see her giving a little call to them. And then it was greeting, like they actually greeted each other, and the youngsters were happy to come over to her and start interacting and playing. So like what we're witnessing now is the real acceptance of her into the group, and that she's actually playing a part and a role. And it was a greeting, like there was no threat, no worry, no fear from anybody within the group, no aggression. It was absolutely wonderful to see. She gave a real indication of, oh, there you are, guys, nice to see us this morning.
I mean, she is only a youngster herself when you look at the age ranges there, 3.5, 3, 8 months, and you've got a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old. So there's a great demographic of ages there now. And she's very comfortable in that, and you can see them rolling up on the trees, and then it's a game, jumping down on top of each other. It's all play fighting, something that's really, really important to young gorillas.
The sense of harmony that's happening in this group is hugely significant. Kathy is right in there now. The other younger animals are accepting her as if she's a member of the troop. And that's hugely important for the troop, because Harry and Lena must have full acceptance of her within the group. They will dictate how much she's accepted, because if one of their youngsters is upset, they will eliminate the problem, and the problem would be Kathy. So it's fundamental at this point that the relationship is developing with the youngsters in the group. So it looks incredible. I mean, they're just like a kindergarten out there. They're exploring, they're playing, they're touching. All the body language is that she's well and truly part of the group. You know, for such a young gorilla, she's had a pretty traumatic start to life. And to witness her now, putting all that past behind her and feeling like to be part and an intimate part of the Dublin Zoo family is a huge step in her development. What we're looking at now is the need to be close to one another, the need for Kathy to be given a role. And it's looking like she's going to take on the role of a big sister. This is exceptional stuff, and it's a really, really, really special to witness this now. It's wonderful.
Kathy will probably spend the duration of our life here at Dublin. So we're looking at, 40 years So she is the beginning of a new phase for the gorilla troop here at Dublin Zoo. And that's what Dublin Zoo is all about, conservation all the time. And that's what we're securing here, is the survival of Western lowland gorilla in this particular rainforest habitat for the next 40 years. So when we look back on it, something that started as a very, very sad story has ended up as a very successful story. Now, we're not the finished article by any stretches of the imagination. We've a long way to go with Kathy. She's a lot to learn, more to learn about the habitat, more to learn about life as a gorilla. But that's something that will be monitored over the next number of years, finishing hopefully with Kathy producing her own youngster. To get to this stage today for Dublin Zoo has taken a huge input from many, many different zoos throughout Europe. Munster Zoo, Stuttgart, you know, and now we're at the stage with Dublin Zoo. So that just shows the cooperation between many zoos throughout Europe for Western lowland gorilla. So very, very happy day for Dublin Zoo today.
Himself into the whole thing. We're not going to put any pressure on him. Whatever's comfortable for Joey is what we want at the moment. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and see what happens.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go, and into his little house.
Hey, Joey.
Here's
How are you doing? You're a very brave penguin. This is the first step. He's out of his sky kennel now. It's all very exciting for him and for us. Hey, big lad. We'll have to be mindful as well of the activeness that we do have. He's gonna settle in fine. Righto, Joey, welcome to your new home. Wow, look at that. Right, we're here now in his new habitat. We're going to open the door now. We've put one of these old upturned sky kennel halves just on its back to serve as a little hide. This is something that Joey was used to in isolation. So hopefully it's something familiar that he remembers. It's also something that our existing group is going to be unsure of. So hopefully they'll stay away, because there can be a lot of aggressive interaction between new birds when you're introducing new birds. So that's what we're going to be watching for today. We're just hoping for the best. We're going to let him ease him.
Passed away. Since then, the keepers have been doing everything they can to get Joey ready for his big reintroduction. After months of hand-rearing and constant care from the two keepers, Joey's big day has finally arrived.
Yeah, today is the day. We're getting little Joey out to his new habitat. He's going to meet his new friends. And we're all very excited, as is he. So yeah, thumbs held and fingers crossed and toes crossed, everything that we can cross we're crossing, that everything's going to go well with him. Yeah, we'll see. We'll obviously keep an eye on him for all of today while we're here on duty. If there are any issues, you know, we will take him back to his original little home, but we're sure.
It's early morning in Dublin Zoo and the start of a very special day for Garth and Louise. In a bid to help them survive a difficult breeding season, the keepers took Joey the Humboldt penguin and his brother Noah from their nest in the penguin habitat 3.5 months ago. Since then, they were monitored, fed and taken care of in the veterinary clinic, with the ultimate aim of eventually reintegrating the two little chicks with the rest of the colony back at the penguin habitat. Unfortunately, while little Joey went from strength to strength, Noah, the smaller of the two chicks, struggled with a respiratory illness. And despite the best efforts of the keepers, "70 acres of Dublin's Phoenix Park. Over 1 million visitors a year. 600 exotic animals. 22 dedicated keepers. Welcome to the zoo. Coming up, Brendan comes face to face with wild orangutans in Borneo, Joey the penguin rejoins the colony, and a new beginning for Kathy the orphaned gorilla.